Welcome to the over 50 senior South African champions home. Here you can see some portraits of the former world champions. And let's enter the chess library. And who do we got here? Dr. Bouah.
Hi, good morning and good day to Calvin and all the listeners, viewers. How are you?
We're doing great. We are seeing a lot of chess sets and a lot of chess books.
Yes, you are now in my chess library and my chess study. And welcome to you and Chess Nonsense and Analysis. Thank you for visiting me today. This week was, of course, the World Book Day, 23rd of April, and it gives me great pleasure to just introduce and show you my chess library that I've accumulated over the last 35 years.
Fantastic. We're actually looking forward to it. We've been hearing about this library, and I want to dive into it. First thing that I'm noticing is all these chess sets. Look at this one over here. This is huge, these pieces.
Calvin, this chess set comes from Poland. I bought it in Warsaw. I visited Warsaw in April 2023, and these chess sets are what is called the traditional Polish chess sets. So I bought it there when we were touring, and you'll see that the difference is the height of the pieces. So you have these pieces that are and this one is also Polish, and I bought this one in Krakow. Krakow is probably the second biggest city there in Poland, and similar pieces as well, but lovely pieces. This one, Calvin, I actually bought in Durban when I visited there, and it is one of these traditional chess sets as well. This one I bought in Venice, and I visited Grandmaster Kenny Solomon, and he showed us Venice a bit. And this is, of course, the Egyptians, Cleopatra and Caesar, and this is then Rome, Italy, or the Roman Empire versus Egypt. This one here is one of my favorite chess sets, actually, because this is Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and all the other cartoon characters here with Goofy and everybody else in here as well. So I enjoy this one. And this one here, as you come in, this one is a chess set that was given to me by Ignatius Leong in Singapore. And this is ancient Chinese figures and the emperors and so forth. So lovely. I quite enjoy that.
Very cool.
Just to show you one or two of my other. So I recently visited Turkey, and in Turkey I bought this one.
Wow.
And this is Greek mythology, and you'll see there he's bearing the cross with he's carrying the world on his shoulders. So everybody knows that saying, you carry the world on your shoulders. And so this is then the Greek mythology that is there. This one here was a chess set that intrigued me because it literally has dragons. Vampires. So this is an interesting chess set that I thought I must buy just because it's so interesting with that as
I suppose you have to play the dragon on this.
Yes, you probably end up playing the dragon. This one here, very interesting, is the Harry Potter chess set. So I found this here at the mall in Cape Town, and then I decided I have to add this Harry Potter chess set to my collection. So of course, Harry Potter, famous with the wizard and everything. This chess set, I thought it looked beautiful. Green is a color, of course, that is associated with the Proteas. So I thought, you know what? Let me get the green and white, and it's a lovely one. And I thought, let me just take this one. So I bought this one in Turkey. So these three sets here I bought from Turkey. So of course I had to make sure that I carry the pieces very nicely. And this one here also from the Greek, you'll see there the columns that they have.
Yes.
And then of course this type of board is very much like a Turkish calligraphy that they also use. So nice Middle Eastern one on that side. And in this board here, this one belongs to my wife, and this is the cats versus dogs.
Oh my!
So she bought
age-old fight.
Yeah, she bought this in Venice for herself, and so I've also thought it would be nice to display cats versus dogs. And in the last one, this was just like a chess set that was probably about 200 rand I found in a toy shop there in Turkey, and I decided, you know what, I actually like the figures, let me take that one as well. So these are just some of my chess sets, Calvin, because of course in my office at work I also have chess sets. So
there's more.
There's more. I collect chess sets because I love interesting chess sets as well, and that's what I do. But enough about the chess sets for the moment. Welcome to my library, and I thought I'd show you a bit of my library today.
This is exciting stuff. So I mean, even the besides the chess pieces or the sets, when you walk in, you just see books. And
Yes.
this is chess books, right? This is not just normal books.
These are all chess books that are here. I started collecting chess books probably from high school already. At that stage, it was mostly donations. Maybe family member gives you one for your birthday or something, or somebody donates a book, or you win a book at a chess tournament. In those years, we didn't win prize money. We won chess books. So it started there small. And then slowly after that, what I used to do is, you'll see here's a pile here, for instance, in the corner. That would be photocopied books. And when I got to the university, I didn't have my own money, but I used to photocopy books so that I could study them.
Yeah.
Later, when I started working, then I started purchasing books, and that so since that time, whenever I see new books that interest me, I purchase. So let me introduce you to some of my books. Let me just move this one for you out of the way. And this here is I'll start with this one. This is my World Championship section. Okay. So this is Kasparov.
Let's see.
So you'll see my great predecessors. So
Nice.
there's all of them, 1 to 5, with some of the others. And from here till here is Kasparov. So
that
whole section is this Kasparov. I started to play in 86. And at that stage, Kasparov was dominant. So if you recall the famous match with Karpov in 85, then 86 they continued, then 87 they played in Seville and all of that. So since that time, I've always then just had Kasparov. So some of the books are Child of Change that he wrote at that stage, which was interesting. This one is another nice one. My games that you don't often find in places.
I've seen that one actually.
I gathered, and I even have, I don't see it here now, it's probably downstairs. I even have Winter is Coming, which is the one that he wrote recently about some of his things.
Okay.
And then So in years short, he of course played a match against Nigel Short for the '93 World Championship when they broke away from the PCA. And then here, if you come closer, you'll see here's Karpov. Karpov is here, and he has a little section that's going there.
Nice.
And Karpov is also somebody I admire greatly. Kalifman, who of course won in Las Vegas, as you may recall, in those knockouts, FIDE World Championship. And then as you go through, you'll see there's Tal Botvinnik 1960, there's Steinitz, there's Smyslov, there's the USSR versus the world. Here's all the games from the World Championship that Wade and those guys did. Lasker. There's Keres, famous world champion challenger as well. And then here's Paul Keres, more of them. There's Sokolov, of course. We know that he's a top trainer nowadays. Yes. Jan Donner, great stories, Dutch journalist, and he really wrote some fantastic ones.
I believe Jan said that chess is completely irrational. It's not... It's not illogical.
Illogical. Well, he's a great writer, and he definitely had some of those ones. Yes, Peter Lecko's 100 best wins as well, and as you know, he was a challenger to Kramnik.
Nowadays, a top coach as well,
and also top commentator. We enjoy watching him. So as you go through, you'll see Tal's great combinations, Capablanca, and then yes, Petrosian, one of my favorite guys as well. You know, the slow type of poison that he had. And then, of course, here's more of Tal. So these are world champions, they're challengers and all of the others. And I quite enjoy going through them because you still learn a lot from the older books. Because you have to study them. And on this side, this is again my Fisher side.
Whoa, Fisher side,
So
okay.
this is now Bobby Fischer, because of course at that stage Fischer was still, even though he had stopped playing in 72 really, Fischer was still around, because in 86, in our minds, you still had Fischer,
Yeah.
you know, that was around.
Yeah, yeah.
And then of course Fischer played against Spassky in 92 again, in Serbia, Montenegro. So here is my Fischer ones, and when I grew up, we chatted a lot about, was Fischer the greatest player, was Kasparov the greatest, is Carlsen now the greatest, but those of us that are in my age group, Fischer
Definitely
was the guy.
Fisher is on your...
Yes, and
Talks.
here's my latest Petrosian book that I bought,
yes,
Python
this
Strategy.
is a personal favorite of
Yes,
mine.
very nice as well.
Very nice book.
Pel Benko, lovely book. I bought at the London Chess Centre when I visited London about a decade ago. Fantastic book, because of course he's an in-game
Yeah.
maestro.
In-game lab or something, I've seen some articles.
Yes, and then of course I used to play the Benko when I was young, and that's
Now
a
you got
Benko.
the player there, yeah.
Yes, and then this series, Bell, the Bell chess book series, they actually gave a lot of translated books from the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc. So
Okay.
they had those ones. So these ones here, like for instance, this is Grandmaster Preparation from Polygoevsky.
Aha.
So that would be there. Then you have the chess strategy in action, which is John Watson, and John Watson is also one of my favorite authors. And you'll even see here's John Watson again, John Watson, volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. So John Watson, these are the type of books that if you want to become a better player, you have to understand the strategy of the opening, but you also need to go deeper into the strategy of the middle game and the end game, because whatever you decide as an opening variation or defense, you're going to have, you must have the understanding.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and then of course Ludek Fachman. Fachman has written some great books, middle game, end games, opening books, so they've got to be there. Interestingly, this is some of the puzzle books that I bought at the Olympiads in 2016. There was a number of these books that came.
It's a nice series.
It's a lovely series there, and I still use them when I prepare for tournaments as well. And so if you just cast, you'll see, and then over here, Calvin, thing that I'm very proud of since we're in World Book Day is that I've written 11 chess books over the last 5 years.
Right.
And I've also put them all in here. So viewers or readers out there would be able to read more about South African chess as well. So that's the volumes that you have there, and it's called the Reflection Series. And the latest one is, in fact, this one, volume 10. And it tells the reader about my tournament that I played in Poland at the World Senior Team Championship in July 2024 as well. And then, of course, John Nunn, he released many books when he was active as an author, and he's still one of our favorites as well. Then the rest of the series is middle games and puzzles.
Still
and
carries
tactics.
on here at the bottom.
It carries on
Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
right through on that side. So when I used to coach, and I used to also have that. Then on this side of the room, these are still some of my books. And then the ones that I still love is actually these bulletins. This is the Chess Bulletins 1994. I played in the Olympiad in Moscow in 94 and in the Philippines 92.
Nice.
And in those years, they used to issue these bulletins, you see. And nowadays, they don't issue bulletins. They just issue the games on whatever website they are using. But what is interesting is that in the bulletins, you have speeches, you have lectures given by some of the top players, and it's in there. So I still love my bulletins. And then you have all the new in chess. So you see, that's the new in chesses that has come along, and then some of my other books that I've collected over the years. And then I want to come to this side a bit. So
is there a theoretical section here in the library? Openings?
Yes, no,
like
in fact, we're going to come to this section here, Calvin, which is lovely. So this one here is the openings. So what I've done here is I play the King's Indian, so there's about 12 King's Indian books here that I've gone through. So
enough, 12. That's the number.
I've studied the King's Indian, and I'm still studying it, of course, because to understand the mysteries of the Mardel Platte or the Samish or 9, the bayonet 9b4, you've got to understand and appreciate. And then, to understand your openings, I also have Dovetsky and you'll see Dovetsky starts here and goes right until here.
Legendary trainer.
The legendary trainer, I consider Dovetsky one of the world's greatest trainers,
Yes.
and that is why I study his books. Then on this side, you'll see the different openings that I've also experimented in, but I also collect them. So the Sicilian has a big range, the Grunfeld has a big range as well, and then I also used to buy specific variations as well with the code A29, A34, so they used to have their own. And then of course, sometimes these older books are important to get the understanding of it. The analysis of the openings may be a bit old,
Yeah.
but the understanding
Understanding is
doesn't
critical,
change.
yeah.
Yes, doesn't change. And then over here, so you'll see here's the Sicilian, and you'll see here's the anti-Sicilian and beating the Sicilian. So just these alone, a Sicilian, as you go through, right through.
I've actually seen some book titles. I know you get the Sicilian and anti-Sicilian, and then you get those books beating the anti-Sicilian.
Yes, you get them also, and I mean, even things like the staining the Sicilian,
Yes.
as well. So all over you'll find them, and then so I've collected them in here so that whenever I'm doing preparations, and especially if you're playing like these essay close or where you can prepare for your opponent
Yes.
beforehand, then it does help as well. On this side, Calvin and viewers, these are some of my latest books that I have here. So you'll see I'm busy with the Soviet Chess Championship, and it is this series on here, the Soviet, and this was written by Sergei Vorenkov.
You
And-
mentioned this in your reflections preparations, eh?
Yes, that's right. And I studied that first one, and then I've got volume 2 and volume 3. That's here. And an interesting one that I quite enjoyed was this one, Under the Surface, by Grandmaster Jan Marcos
Okay.
from Slovenia. Lovely book. He also brings new things. And one of my favorite chapters is The Secret Lives of Rooks, because he says people often keep rooks still at the move 20 or so, but he actually says the rooks have secret lives of
Okay.
their own. So very nice way that he looks at things as well. Then I also quite enjoyed Sultan Khan, because it tells us the story of how he came from just being an ordinary worker really in India at that stage, and then he traveled to London and won the British Championship 3
I
times.
came across that name, I think is in my great predecessors or somewhere his name does get mentioned.
Yes,
Top
yes.
player of the time there.
And one of the natural players as well. One of the books that I've recently finished was this one from Grandmaster Thomas Luther, Chess Transformation. And he was born with a disability, and he became a Grandmaster, and he shows in this book how nothing should hold you back. You can do it, and he's left some great training exercises, which I'm going to use hopefully for my next tournament.
Nice.
As well. And then a book that I thoroughly enjoyed was this one, Forgotten Genius, and it tells you about Alban Planik, also a Slovenian grandmaster, and he won a number of championships and international tournaments, but people don't know him. But if you study his games, creativity becomes important. And as you go through here, you'll see, yes, Gawain Jones, King's Indian, Balogan's King's Indian again. And then a gentleman that I enjoyed is the Sorcerer's Apprentice, David Bronstein. And Bronstein has some great games. And if you've not studied him,
Yes.
don't forget that he actually in the World Championship was
True.
12-12 with both
Yes,
winners.
yes.
And then the book that I recently bought that I need to study is this one, Improving Your Middle Game Play, Driev. So these are fantastic players, and I've got to. And then on this side is just some of Boris Gelfand. I've got 3 of these books. Decision making and dynamic decision making and positional decision making. So these are the type of books that influence my thinking. And I must say, Calvin, last year in 2024, I didn't play many tournaments. I probably played about 5 tournaments in total, but I scored 114 FIDE ELO rating.
Nice.
So I went up from 1996 to 2110 in my FIDE rating, and proud achievements was, of course, winning with Shabir Baudin, the over 50 South African Senior Championship.
Yeah.
Then playing in Poland, I played on board 1 in the FIDE Senior and scored 6 out of 9, 4 wins, 4 draws and 1 loss. And then joined third in Moja in Kimberley in 2024.
Just after that big event, eh?
Just after 2 months after that big event, and in that event, I beat the eventual winner Rogov, and I also beat Banele, South African Olympiad player, and also Charlton Manyasta, who was also number 5 at the SA Closed just 6 months prior to that. So last year was fantastic, but I think if you're a serious chess player, you got to try to have your own library, whatever it may be, and you must also study as well. And that's why you'll see, like, I haven't even finished Caruana yet. Caruana, he's got 60 memorable games similar to Fischer, so those things must be studied. And then on this side, Calvin, is also, this is some of course, my system. Everybody must have my system.
Yes.
In my writings, I'm busy with the book project on sacrifices. So here's all my books that I have on sacrifices. So I'm going to use them as my theoretical basis.
Okay.
Because for any thing that I want to write about, you must have a basis. And that is called the grounded theory. So the question is, what is your grounded theory? My one would first be analyze and see what they are. So this one's here are some of my general chess books. This is my endings again. So whether you talk about the endings of Madness, which is lovely, Bishop versus Knight, the verdict on that one, and then as you go through here, you have different, in fact, Averbach, this is some of my, so Averbach, Rook, and minor piece, Bishop endings, and then Levenfish and Smyslov.
Nice, that's a classic.
And you know, people don't realize it, but Grigor Levenfish was a Soviet champion. He won this tournament that they talk about in here. But Levenfish is not well known, you see. But Levenfish was a champion in the 1920s as well. And as you go through, I collect different genre, but each genre, whether it be the middle game that's on the other side, the openings that's on that side, or general things. I must say I enjoyed this book of Nigel Short as well. I told Nigel that this was a book that really helped me last year. And what was the interesting thing about this book is Grandmaster Nigel Short gave one tournament that he won on each of the continents. And he analyzed it as well. So this was quite a nice
great book. I actually started with that one as well.
Yes, so I think in total, Calvin, if you count up books, magazines and other things, there's about 1,500 items of chess in this room. On this side, in the old days, I also used to collect DVDs. So some of the DVDs that's there that one needs to look at. So I've also put those ones together as well. So of course they're not so popular nowadays because you can just go to YouTube and download. But I must tell you also about this series. This is by Judith Polgar's dad. This is the chess endings, chess and middle games, where he's put some of these puzzles that he used for the Polgar sisters. He's put that together as well. Here you see these mammoth books that Graham Burgess has come up with some lovely games in there as well. So essentially, Calvin, this is my chess library, and you can name any book, any major chess book.
Yes.
And I probably have it here somewhere.
I'll actually put you to task here, Dr. Bouah. I'm thinking about 2 or 3 videos ago on our channel, I mentioned a book. I think it was on the Hermanus Open. Yes, if you guys check out my Hermanus Open recap, then I was mentioning some positional play in this pink book from Mark Dvoretsky.
Yes.
Don't know if Yusupov wrote that one with him or not, but it's it's a positional play, pink cover.
So
okay, immediately.
There
we go.
This is the one, and this one actually my mother bought this book for me in 2005. Yes, so I think she got it somewhere in PE at one of those bookstores there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I must have read that literally that book.
Yes.
So when I was staying there by your place.
That's right. So this is also, I mean, it's a must book. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why the positional play, sequence of chess tactics, and I just want to tell the listeners and the viewers that, you know, some of these books are very advanced.
Yeah.
So you players such as myself, I tend to read it twice or thrice. And there's no harm in doing that because your level of development changes as you mature and as your understanding matures as well. So go through it. And I mean, for me, I go through it many times. And in fact, recently, this is recognizing your opponent's resources, the art of peace play. So there are different things that come into play. So somebody like Dovetsky, I used to enjoy his articles that was on a website called www.chesscafe.com.
Yes.
And I downloaded all his articles, and fantastic, because it used to give me that insight that I needed. So Calvin and viewers, this is my chess library, and which I'm very proud of, because I believe that I still believe in the power of books, and I still believe that you should enjoy a good book, and that is what I enjoy as well. Calvin, that was, I played Gary Kasparov here in Cape Town, lost in about 22 moves, but it was...
the mighty Gary. You're sitting opposite him.
Yes, it was one of my, I enjoyed that very much. So I think for me, to have had the honor for you and Chess Nonsense and Analysis to visit me today was really powerful, and I decided that I'm not only going to keep my chess boards in boxes, they must come out so that I can admire them and also show some of my colleagues and friends. And I just want to say also to the listeners and the viewers out there, study your chess, collect your chess books where you can. And you know, when I started collecting chess books in Cape Town, probably in the early 90s, the chess books were still 35 Rand, 36 Rand. They've moved on to 300, 400, 500 Rand. But you have to use that in order to understand chess further.
So there is value to chess books compared to, let's say, online material?
So the two must complement one another. So Calvin, I do both. So the online must complement the books. So you'll see that when you study YouTube videos, whether it be of Levy, Rosman, Gotham Chess, or any of the others, they just tell you the guy moved here because of this, but actually you still need to have the understanding of the theory behind why the guy is seizing the open file or the open diagonal, or whatever the case may be, or the importance of the outpost, etc., or overprotection, etc., or blockade of the passport. Now, what needs to be important is that you would have needed to study that in a book at some stage to understand that you first have to blockade, and then you must destroy, and the passport is a criminal that must be stopped. All of those type of things have to be studied by you as a player, not by the coach. The coach knows those things already, but you need to study it as a player. Then your online material, and I use the modern day online where people are streaming, and you have websites, and you've got YouTube channels dedicated to certain things, where some of the, let's call it, the classic games of chess are even analyzed for you already.
Yes.
So you can use that
as a supplementary.
As a supplement, but at the same time, you've got to have. So when you see grandmasters thinking deeply about certain things, you see they're sitting there in that typical chess pose, then you'll see that in their mind they are going through what they have learned previously already, so that they can then try to get that, and then of course the calculation starts. So for me, the study of chess books is important, and I've seen this when you travel to other countries, particularly to Europe, they will tell you must have a technical understanding of chess as well, so that you can appreciate that if you get into a certain endgame, this is already drawn, if it's an F pawn, or if it's an H pawn, or whatever it is. So for me, books are important, and the internet and YouTube and any other things complement that understanding.
Okay, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I can get lost in here for hours or days on end.
Yes.
Maybe we should just sit down here.
Sure.
And I think I'll just enjoy my coffee over there.
Of course.
And what do we have here?
Well, there's a coaster, Calvin. I've got my coasters are, of course, chess puzzles. So I normally tease the guys that come to visit me to say, if you can't solve the puzzle, you can't have your coffee, or that you may enjoy.
Let's see if you can solve this puzzle, viewers.
Yeah, now we'll leave it there, and I'll send Calvin the win later on as well. But yes, so this is Lyndon Bouah's chess study, and there's so many books that you have to study, but you've got to set out time. And for me, It's enjoyable over weekends. I try to do an hour to 90 minutes. After work, of course, is always difficult. But when you prepare for a tournament, then you have got to go into the zone.
Yeah.
And that becomes important. But if you can, my view is the study of annotated games. That for me is I enjoy that tremendously. And I actually, the book that I most recently finished was about Grandmaster Carlos Torre from Mexico. He only played for about 3 years. But he played in 1925 Moscow Championship. He's from Mexico, and he was beating the top grandmasters in the world. And one of the Mexican chess players has wrote a book about him.
Oh, wow, nice.
And everybody knows D4 knight f6 bishop g5.
Yes.
It's named after him. And then of course everybody knows his famous windmill against Lasker.
Yep.
Bishop f6, queen takes h5, and rook takes g7. But the important thing is you still need to learn, to study and stuff. So I've found that each chess player, grandmaster, I can learn from. Whether you study Rubinstein for his end games, whether you're studying Fischer, whether you're studying Kasparov, or the quiet move of Karpov, where the grandmaster will say he doesn't know how he lost.
Yeah.
But he lost, and then of course Carlsen and all the other. But the key thing is just study your books. That's the important thing. That's my view, and why I will still enjoy reading and writing chess books for a very long time.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to just thank you, Dr. Bouah, for inviting us into your magical chess library over here and inspiring not only the viewers but myself as well here. If you sit in here, ladies and gentlemen, if you sit in here, you just want to study chess. So thanks for inviting us to your house and showing us all of this, and hopefully more people will start reading their chess books. That's the main point here, everyone. So
thanks, Calvin.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.
Sure.